Hello, strangers. Strange Worlds Unlimited. I'm your host, Fred Strange, and well, this is just going to be me talking. I was actually going to see if I could do this as kind of a live stream, but I'm looking right now at all the things that you need to do just to live stream on YouTube, and boy, I'm a bit confused. I'm a bit tired, and therefore it's all the jumble of letters and stuff is kind of all running together. So trying to read up on how to do, and they give you so many options. For this you do that. For this you do, it's like. So anyway, so this isn't going to be a live stream. This will be, this will be just me recording, obviously, and therefore, instead of live streaming at 9:30, I'm recording at 9:30 when I should be posting things to, the usual time frame. So here I am recording stuff, and it'll get posted when it gets posted. Anyway, so the main topic here is just basically I instead of editing things together so that I can have stuff for the 9:30, I try to as much as possible, and I've been kind of failing at this lately for a couple of reasons, which I'll get to in a little bit, I suppose. The videos have been coming after 9:30. I try to upload videos at least on this channel, and get them up at 9:30, but it hasn't happened. So basically I was going to try to live stream it, but that's not going to happen. So when you see this, you see this. What I was doing instead of editing was watching the first debate between Clinton and Trump. And I don't necessarily want to express too many of my views on this, because I know that there's going to be people that like game stuff and maybe like this channel, and they're going to have all sorts of opinions and thoughts and whatever. And so I don't necessarily want to alienate, whoever you like, whoever you're going to vote for, I don't really care. Yeah, I might have, I will say a few things about the debate, however, is that, it was a mess of stuff. And let me say this. I'm not a big fan of Clinton. I think that she courts controversy. She courts controversy in that she doesn't necessarily do anything per se legal. Nothing that anybody's ever, they've gone through investigation after investigation after investigation after investigation, and have never found her doing anything particularly illegal. Not exactly wise, and not exactly, the best. She finds herself doing the wrong thing at the wrong time in the wrong situation and saying the wrong things about it. And all of those things add up to months, if not years, if not decades of, court proceedings or congressional proceedings or, all that sort of stuff. And I was hoping, I voted against her when she ran in 2008, partially because of this knack to just find the wrong things to be involved in, and it's like she's a magnet for it. And, apart from that, I liked what Barack Obama had to say about things anyway. So I voted for him. So that should give you some indication of where I stand politically. But again, whatever. I tended to favor Sanders because of he was saying things that I liked, and he didn't have all the skeletons in his closet that Clinton has. Excuse me, in hers. And again, she's never really done anything per se illegal, or at least nothing that's been proven such. But she always manages to find herself in the wrong situation at the wrong time, and then says the wrong things about it. So, yeah, I would love to have a better candidate than her, but that's the way things go. People vote for who they vote for, and sometimes in the primaries, and sometimes you're left with somebody who can't. Now, she does stand on certain principles that I share, more so than the Republican Party. So I don't really have that big of a problem in backing her. It's just I would rather have liked to have backed somebody who didn't have the skeletons in her closet that she has. So, but she does have those are kind of some of the negatives there. She does have years of experience, years of knowledge, decades of knowledge. She is probably one of the more experienced people to seek this office. Now, and because some of her ideas line, most of her ideas align with mine. And she does have the experience, and I'll get to how that's and I'll get to how that differs from her opponent, and why in this case it's better. It's better than, say, 8 years ago. Experience is not necessarily everything. One of the people that was touted to be the most experienced, the best suited for the job of presidency, was President Herbert Hoover. And he had this great track record. He had all of this knowledge to back him up. He had great experience going in when he was elected. And then the economy, like 6 months after he's elected, the economy falls apart. And he fell apart with it. He tried a few things and did a few others, but mainly it was just one misstep after another. And all the experience, all the knowledge, and everything that he had going into it went right out the window. So there's nothing necessarily saying that despite all the knowledge and experience and everything that Clinton has, that something can come in and just and blindside her, just like the stock market crash blindsided Hoover, blindside Clinton, and she could fall apart, and and God knows what happens to the country at that point. But at the same time, I'll take that experience, and I'll take that knowledge, and I'll take one of the key words that came out of Trump's mouth last night was stamina. I'll take her stamina, which she has a lot of, to have to go through, because of all the closets, because of all the skeletons she keeps on throwing into her closets. She ends up she's got a lot of stamina to have to put up with year after year after year, decade after decade of all of the people looking in her closets there. So let's talk about Trump for a bit. Last night was just a fiasco. You saw the difference between Clinton coming in there, and this is something that he criticized. He criticized her for being gone for the week. Well, she was gone, preparing for that debate. She was there, testing things out and refreshing her knowledge and getting questions bounced at her and coming up with the best answers for it. She was in there practicing for that entire week while he was out on the campaign trail saying whatever it is that Trump says. And the thing is that it showed, though, is her preparation showed. She came in there, pretty cool. She took all of the barbs that he threw at her, and yeah, I mean, there's already memes out there about how she kind of wiggles and dances to all the the slings and arrows that he's chucking at her. I don't know, she's dancing around them or being tickled by the fact that they're bouncing off of her. It's like, and they bounced off of her. I don't think there was too many that really stuck. The email thing seems to be the one. The email comment seems to be the one thing that a lot of the people, the main Trump supporters, can seem to be pointing to as the one that kind of hit its mark there. But a lot of the other stuff that he flung at her didn't seem to affect her at all. In many cases she picked up what he threw and threw it right back at him. But he was completely unprepared. He talked in circles. He'd get a question asked of him that, for one thing, most of his answers followed a lot of the talking points that the RNC has been, saying for several years, and that he's been saying for the past several months, ad nauseum. And that's okay. You're going to get that at any debate, anytime, any debate, any debate, anywhere. You're going to get candidates on there. Looking through history, they're going to say they're going to have their talking points, their stump speeches, that they use on the campaign trail all the way leading up to the debate there. And then they're just going to keep on repeating them right during the debate, that debate and the next debate and everything like that. And so they're going to be saying those things. And so Trump said, a lot of what he had been saying. And, just feeding his base, really, is what he was doing there. And he was just putting out all the red meat for his base to eat up. And I'm quite certain they ate it all up. Reading the various comments, it appears that they ate it all up very easily. But when he wasn't able to fire off those talking points, when Lester Holt hit him with a question that he wasn't prepared to answer, he didn't know how to answer, he sit there and talk in circles, and never actually answer the question. He kind of talk around the question, not really answering it. And it wasn't until Clinton came up with her answer to whatever the question was, then Donald then kind of said, "Oh, okay, that's what the answer is. Now I can say what I should have said in the first time. Here's a question. I'm going to put it to you, Mr. Trump. What do you think of this?" He just talks in circles. Then Clinton gives her rebuttal. And he says, "Can I rebut on that?" And then he actually gives the answer that he should have said the first time. He had the 2 minutes to, he was talking in circles. So, yeah, it's just, it was painful to watch that. And the whole reason why I was watching it, out of morbid curiosity as to how that exchange was going to happen. If one was going to be able to really, and nobody really scored any true knockouts per se. Clinton fed her base, Trump fed his base. The real question is that did anybody that is sitting that's still sitting on the fence here, were they able to shift those people in either direction? I don't know. The problem with Clinton is because of all those skeletons in her closet. A lot of people are really hesitant to back her. Even though you've got Trump over there saying what he says. And he says a lot of stuff that, the fact checkers go crazy. but and Trump's appeal is that he is new to this whole thing, and there is something to be said about being the newcomer into this Washington thing and trying to and getting things to to shake up, versus somebody who's been there for years and knows the system. And do you want somebody who knows the system and can work with the system and possibly do stuff in the system, or do you want somebody to come in from the outside and shake up the system? And that's Trump's appeal, is that he's an outsider. He can come in there and shake up the system. The problem is how he shakes up the system. I mean, he talked about how the New York City had this stop and frisk thing that seemed to work. He touts, and I haven't checked the facts on this one, but I'm going to take him at his word that New York City at the time the whole stop and frisk thing started had 2,300 murders a year or something like that, and it was after the stop and frisk kind of got it's been reduced down to like 500. So that's a significant drop, and that's that's a good thing. The problem is that stop and frisk thing was done in such a way it violated a lot of people's constitutional rights and therefore was declared unconstitutional. And here he is sitting there trying to tout a system that's been declared unconstitutional. And it's like, well, yeah, just because it works, it doesn't mean that you can sit there and promote a system and try to promote something worldwide or nationwide rather, that's already been declared constitutional. You just can't do that. And especially as president, your job is to defend the Constitution, not to do something unconstitutional. So, you can't be for the Constitution like a lot of people on the right say. They keep on talking about how they're for the Constitution and you can't say you're for law and order, you're for the Constitution, and then try to promote a thing that's been ruled unconstitutional. It's just, it doesn't work that way. So whether whatever Clinton had to say to kind of talk around the whole how do we fix the policing problem, she didn't really necessarily have anything concrete, but Trump's concrete answer in response to that, though, was something that was ruled unconstitutional. So it's like, you can't use that either. You got to throw that out and find something else to do. And if you don't have something else to do, then you have to almost go with Clinton, because at least she's got some kind of a plan. So it was that kind of stuff. He kind of talked around in circles, or he promoted stuff that was highly just bad. You can't do a non-constitutional illegal thing like that. So, and he didn't seem to quite understand that. So yeah, it was just, and the more she barbed at him, the more he kind of started to fall apart. And the real kicker here, and I think I'm gonna chew more things here that I'll start ending with this, and then I'll say why I was even doing this in the first place. The end, he said that all the polls and everything like that. I mean, unless you're watching Breitbart or Fox had them tied in terms of who won the debate. Fox had them tied going up until almost 11 o'clock last night, Pacific time here. So that says something when Fox viewers have them virtually tied, within 2 points of each other. Either Clinton was leading, it was like 51-49. So sometimes Clinton had the 51, sometimes Trump had the 51. So you're just going back and forth. They're virtually tied all the way, at least until like 11 o'clock when I tuned out. I don't know what it is this morning, but but just about every other, CNN had a 2-1 victory in Clinton's favor. A lot of others had similar in Clinton's favor. So, more mainstream, which of course a lot of right-wing people don't really like the mainstream because they just, mainstream means liberal, as far as they're concerned. It's like, well, The only other people are the right wing media, and of course a lot of them are voting for Trump anyway. So it's overwhelming. I mean, you go to the left wing websites, and it's 90-10 in favor of Clinton. You go to a right wing website, it's 90-10 in favor of Trump. It really doesn't. You got to you got to find the middle ground people, and see where it stands. And like I said, the fact that Fox, which is a lot more right leaning, had voters, almost dead even. CNN had a bigger shift towards Clinton. A lot of people. So what I'm coming to is, though, however, is that basically Donald conceded the fact that he lost the debate in saying that there was something wrong with his mic. Oh, well, no, not really. There was nothing wrong with your mic. We heard every word loud and clear. The problem with the mic was the person that was standing behind it, really. He needs to do a better job. Quite frankly, I don't know if anybody in any of the people that had been going for the Republican nomination could have really stood up to Clinton. I don't think the Republicans really need to nominate better people. Romney might have been able to stand up against Clinton last night and done better. Maybe even done a whole lot better. Maybe even, they probably would have come away saying Romney won that thing. It's just a matter of how he answered the questions. But he seemed a lot, when he was debating with Obama, he seemed a lot more on the ball, in debating Obama. And so, the Republicans just need to stop nominating crazy people, because everybody on that stage 6 months ago was just crazy. Really. You decide, outsider is one thing, but, get somebody with intelligence who doesn't say crazy stuff, really. And the whole reason I was even watching that is not only, again, for my own morbid curiosity. I wanted to see how it was. I knew it was going to be a train wreck, and I wanted to see the train wreck. But also my daughter, my 13-year-old daughter is in the Girl Scouts, and there's a badge that she can earn, or at least one of the little check marks in order to earn the badge is to watch a debate. So here we are. It's like, this is probably the last debate I really wanted her to have to see. Yeah. So anyway, I've been babbling too long about this, and again. If you're in favor of Trump, okay, you have your reasons, and if you're in favor of Clinton, then you have your reasons too. I have my reasons, and if you're not in favor of either of them, then you're gonna have to. You're gonna, I mean, you can sit there out there and not do anything. There's a line from the music group Rush, to maybe keep in mind here. However, if you choose not to decide, you still have made a choice. So you got Trump on one side, you've got Clinton on the other side, you've got the two third party you've got the Green Party and you've got the Libertarian Party. If that's your cup of tea, that's fine, I suppose. But the thing is that as it stands right now, a vote for either of them is not going to go anywhere. So you are basically throwing your vote away in terms of these two are not getting the kind of they're really not getting the kind of mainstream views that they get, and when they do, you get people like the Libertarian candidate saying stuff like where's Aleppo? He doesn't know where or what is going on in Aleppo until he kind of gets reminded. Oh, that's what's going on. That's where Aleppo is. That's what Aleppo is. That's what's going on. Yeah, Aleppo is in Syria. They're being attacked. The image of the child that was set up in the ambulance, all bloodied and dirtied and everything like that, it was Aleppo. He seemed completely. He's like, how can you be running for president and come off as that clueless. And then recently he said that what's the point of doing anything about global warming when the sun's just going to engulf the Earth anyway? Yeah, in 7 billion years, what are we going to do between now and then, you idiot? So, and, you know, the Green Party candidate is really not doing much better. So, there we go. Anyway, now you know how I stand on things. Now you know how I feel about certain things. And, you know, hopefully that, you know, I have my views. Everybody has their own views. And, you know, we're just going to, we'll come out and we'll say what we think. And you know, like everybody express our opinions and then go on with our lives. So, you know, tomorrow I'll have more games up, hopefully. And, you know, hopefully you will, those of you who are watching this and those of you who have been watching the games in the past will continue to come back and, you know, continue to support my page. If you like this, or even if you don't like this, go ahead and give me a thumbs up anyway, just because, hey, it's you know, it's my opinion, it's my thing, and I'm trying to be as fair as I can, but obviously, you know, I'm leaning towards one candidate over the other because, you know, reasons. But yeah, and you know, go ahead and, you know, you subscribe to this. I've got a couple other channels. Take a look at those as well. And I guess I will cut this short and see you guys in the next video. Hopefully a happier one. And stay strange. Bye-bye.